Good morning and welcome. My name is Chris Shelton, coming to you from another rainy day in San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley, coming to you with the DIY home remedies for health, happiness, and healing transformation. Today what we're talking about affects millions of Americans around the country, and what that is referred to as holiday blues. You know, during the holiday season, this should be a time of rejoicing and happiness, but for most Americans, what it turns out to be is a time of self-reflection, sadness, loneliness, anxiety, and depression. Normally, the holiday blues comes around during the months of November and December and is shorter and less severe than clinical depression. And even if you're somebody who loves the holidays, a lot of times a lot of people that love the holidays also suffer from the holiday blues because of all the high demands, expectations, busyness, which leaves us stressed out and feeling wiped out. Unfortunately, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in America, and 36,000 people annually take their own lives here in America. And over 374,000 people are admitted to the hospital due to self-inflicted injuries. According to the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, during December actually is the lowest time of the year where suicides happen. And there's actually more suicides that happen during the fall and the spring months. And this has been a pattern for the last several years. So what can we do in order to help, number one, first and foremost, help prevent suicides, and also number two, to help keep us from being drawn down into the holiday blues? One of my favorite things that I always talk about is pay attention to who is in your environment. If you have toxic family members, toxic friends, these people could actually contribute more to the holiday blues, especially if there's somebody that's very needy and have this high expectation during this holiday season. So I would limit contact with people that you know that are going to bring you down because of their own expectations. Another favorite thing that I like to do is I like to journal. And what I do is every single night I journal and I write down what has gone on during the day. And what's interesting is that when I write down what's gone on during the day, I actually see my own mental patterns, and actually I see the patterns of my interactions with people that I'm around, family and or friends and or clients. So anyways, journaling is another good thing to do. If you are feeling clinically depressed and going into the holidays, you also suffer from what is referred to as seasonal affect disorder, where when it's rainy or cloudy, your mood drops as well too. There are certain things that you could actually do to help to uplift your moods. If you are feeling clinically depressed and or suicidal, please get help, talk to somebody. Don't keep that stuff inside. You know, we're like a bottle. You know, if you shake up the bottle and keep the lid on, eventually something has to break internally. And that also goes with emotions. Besides the emotional stress and expectations during the holiday season is the buildup of stress throughout the year leading into the holidays, which could also pull us down the rabbit hole and pull us into a funk. So what can we do to pull ourselves out of it? Like I said, journaling. Number two, the other thing too is to make sure to talk to somebody. Number three is to get enough sleep, because sleep is the number one tonic for healing the body. And if you are practicing Qigong or other types of meditations, some people think, oh, well, now that I'm practicing Qigong, I don't need to get as much sleep. And wrong. Actually, sleep is the number one tonic for healing the body and also for helping to balance out the mind. And so if you're somebody that's not getting enough sleep, burning the candles at both ends, and on top of that, adding on to the stress in your life with the holidays and these expectations, this could also pull you down. So make sure to get enough sleep. And if you click on the link below, we have of tonics that you can do from Infinichi. We have the sleep formula. We also have the wood element formula, which is to help with our liver, because in Chinese medicine, depression itself is actually because of this liver blood is stagnant. So that wood element herb actually helps to move that. Also, Infinichi has a roll-on, the essential oil called Calm. Any citrus blends, especially from doTERRA, can actually help to uplift the moods of women. And so there are different things that we could actually do in order to make sure that our moods are uplifted. The other thing too is that try to avoid the cold and raw, especially if you live in an area where it's cold and wet outside, because that will further aggravate your stomach, which then will aggravate the liver, which will aggravate the heart, which then aggravates the mind. Making sure to eat foods that are warm, but also to make sure to eat foods according to your constitution. Now, if you're somebody that's changing their diet pattern and let's say you're not eating as much red meat anymore or turning vegetarian or vegan, that's fantastic, but pay attention to how it affects your moods, because there are some people that are actually benefited by eating red meat, and when they take that out of their diet, then what happens is that they could actually create depression for themselves. Okay, so what are the Qigong practices that we could do? Well, my favorite one, first and foremost, is doing the Ha sound. So if you're somebody that has this grief or this underlying, feel like you're walking underneath a dark cloud, you maybe have a stuck feeling in your throat, which we call the plum seed effect. Doing the Ha sound, whether audibly or underneath your breath, can actually help to bring about balance and help you to release whatever is going on. I know for myself, last year at some point, I had that stuck feeling in my throat, and it seemed like everything in my life was going great. I couldn't pinpoint one exact thing that would create this sorrow or this plum seed effect in my throat. So I just listened to my body, and what I do is I go ahead and do that sound regardless. And because I had that stuck feeling there, I actually would lift the chin, and this is what I recommend for you too, is going ahead and lifting the chin, and as you make the Ha sound, have it come from the throat. So I'm going to inhale. And as you exhale, you imagine that circumstance, and even if you don't know what it is, just imagine that feeling leaving from the throat like a dark cloud going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground. I mean, how many of us have wake up in the morning and sometimes we have this sad feeling that we wake up with and can't really identify what it really is. Doesn't matter. Feel the feeling, allow it to be, accept it for what it is, and then as you inhale, pull a pink cloud into the heart, and then as you exhale, imagine that circumstance leaving like a dark cloud, going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground. Now, obviously, if you're in public, you're probably not going to do the sound audibly, so do the sound underneath your breath and inhaling. And you can do this for 3 to 5 breaths or for 10 or 15 minutes, how long it takes in order for you to get this feeling out of your system. Another favorite practice of mine is called shaking the tree, or shake it off like the Taylor Swift song, because we're the only animal or mammal on land that does not shake it off when something happens to us. So it's a very simple practice. The key is that you have to relax. And so if you get upset about something, whether it's road rage at the mall while you're shopping, or having some type of negative confrontation with a family member or somebody you work with, go into another room, and you may have to do this several times. The key is that we want to get the vibration out of the body. It's when we don't shake it off and that stays in our tissues that this is what creates inflammation. This is what increases our cortisol levels. This is what increases our blood pressure. And this is also what increases the potential for depression. So a very simple practice. Step out with your feet out, shoulders width apart. I'm going to relax, starting with my fingers as I inhale, going all the way up, and way down, inhaling up, and all the way down. Again, inhale, and exhale. And then I finish off by pulling down the heavens 3 times, and exhale. Okay, inhaling, just connecting to your higher self, God, whatever that looks like to you, the universe, the Tao, inhaling, and allow for that negative circumstance to leave out through the feet and deep into the ground. Okay, this last practice here is for the kidneys, because the kidneys are the root foundation for overall health and how our body functions. I mean, the kidneys control so much. It controls our bones, our reproductive system, the marrow, all the major glands in the body. It controls our brain. So the kidney essence isn't functioning properly or reaching the brain. This is why sleep is so important, because this is where the brain gets its nourishment, and that kidney well actually gets to replenish itself. If the kidneys aren't strong, then guess what? The mind's not strong. So the mind becomes weak. Also, if the kidneys are weak, then the heart becomes weak. And they have a saying in Chinese medicine and Chinese philosophy that the heart houses the mind, which houses the Shen, which is your spirit. I'm going to place my left hand on my right kidney, and your kidneys are located opposite the belly button on the left and right sides of the spine. And as I come down, I'm going to imagine scooping up blue water into the kidneys, inhaling on the up, exhaling on the down. Now, if you want to make this into more of a stretch, you could go ahead and do that as well too. But what I really want you to focus on is having the hand and the intention on the kidneys and bending at the waist. So if you have lower back problems, maybe it's not a wise idea to bend too far. So even something as shallow as what I'm doing right now is okay. And I'm shifting my weight from left to right. The emotions of fear and shock actually affect the kidneys, and the kidneys are harmed by cold. So being out in the cold and during the December months is when the kidneys, or the winter months is when the kidneys are most prone to disease. It does not like the cold. So then I'm going to do several repetitions, and then I'm going to switch. Now the left kidney go in the opposite direction, bending at the waist, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale on the up, exhale on the descend, inhaling up and exhaling. And if there's any fear, or if you had any shocking moments, or if you're working a lot right now, making sure to take that time to allow for these kidneys to rejuvenate, come back to balance. Inhale. And then I'm going to finish pulling down the heavens again. This time I'm just going to do it one time for the sake of the video, but you can do it 3 times. And exhale and release. So wrapping up today's topic on holiday blues and how to fight depression, and how to give tools for people that are having suicidal thoughts or tendencies. Number 1, first and foremost, if you're having those thoughts, please do not keep that stuff inside. Talk to somebody, and there are support groups out there, there are hotlines, and we are creatures of community. So get out into the community, get around other people that can help support you. That's first and foremost. Number 2, try journaling. You don't have to spend 1 or 2 hours like I do. You do 10 or 15 minutes. Just write down some of the bullet points of what happened during the day. Believe it or not, if you start to journal, you'll start to see your patterns, your mental patterns, your interactions with people. So the more detailed you are, then the more you really start to see those patterns of what's going on in your life. And then that helps you change it. It helps you break the cycle. Number 3, sleep. You have to get enough sleep. Qigong, exercising, yoga is not the remedy for not getting enough sleep. You still have to get plenty of sleep. And for everybody, it varies a little bit. So if you're waking up and you're feeling rested and rejuvenated, then good for you. And your mind is strong, there's no feelings of sorrow or sadness or depression, then that means that you're getting enough sleep. But if you're waking up feeling exhausted, that could be something else going on, but also it could be a telltale sign in your body saying, hey, I need to get enough sleep. I also like to take 20-minute naps. I take a 20-minute nap almost every single day, and it helps to really kickstart me for the rest of the day. And there's a lot of countries out there where after lunch, they actually will take a small nap, and it's been proven to help with your longevity and your overall mental well-being. Then the next practice is watch your diet. Avoid the cold and raw food. If you live in a cold area during this time of year, we should be having congis and soups and foods that are warm in nature. If you're somebody who's changing their diet, whether it's to lose weight or to try to gain more energy, and you notice that by changing the diet that you've lost energy and now you're becoming mentally weak, well, then really look at what kind of foods that you've taken out, unless it's sugar and those kinds of things. But I'm talking about, for example, like red meat. Not everybody's a big fan of red meat, but I do believe in small amounts, 2 ounces for people, a couple times a week for people that do suffer from depression. It actually helps to build their blood, make the blood strong enough. And if your blood is strong, your heart is strong, and then your mind is strong. All right, then also we gave you the kidney cleansing exercise, the heart healing sound, pulling down the heavens, and also shaking it off like the Taylor Swift song. So here you have it. Here's some remedies to help with the holiday blues, and I hope that everybody has a great holiday season. And remember, don't worry, be happy, and reach out. Please click on the links below, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please share this information with your friends. We love you, and we love to hear back from you if there's anything that you'd like for me to talk about, and we'd love to hear your comments. You mean the world to us, and God bless, and everybody have a safe and happy holiday. Thank you for all your love and support, and I will chi you later.